What's up, guys? It's your boy Anime Boom, and I am back for another video. Yo, DC needs to quit. I've been seeing all the stuff with James Gunn and DC and stuff, and it's just made me come to the realization DC needs to quit. And maybe, look, I'll say this. Maybe the thumbnail or the title's a little bit clickbaity. They can quit for a couple of years, like maybe 10 years. Quit for a while, DC. Quit and take a break. But you can come back. You ain't got to give up forever. But yes, I think you should take a break. But I'm about to go through the reason why I think DC should quit, because that hate has to come from somewhere. And I'm going to explain to you why I think it's time for them to take a break and do better, improve on your content, and get the fans on your side again. Because I honestly think DC could be better than Marvel. Okay, y'all, so this section of the video is basically majority of the video because I feel like there's a lot to go through. You basically can talk about all the DC movies that flopped, and this plays a major role into why I just think DC needs to take a break for a while. This plays a big part. So yes, let's just get right into it. The flops that DC has had. So to start it off, Superman, the Henry Cavill movie, was Man of Steel. Man of Steel, boring. I hate the movie. It's boring. The movie starts off with boring Krypton. I don't care what nobody says. Krypton is so boring. I do not care about Krypton. Or the movie portrayals of Krypton. I don't know how it is in the comics. I know how it is in some of those cartoons. The cartoons really do be cooking sometimes. They got some good versions of like Krypton and all the Justice League members, especially Superman. Superman's good in some of those cartoons. And yeah, the movies, the live action movies just do not do a good job with Superman. But let's continue. The movies, he's boring. Superman is not really relatable. He's boring. And he just acts like a god and stuff in those movies. And yeah, I'm just not a fan of Superman in those movies. Batman versus Superman, very dark. I feel like with this storyline, Batman versus Superman, the two greatest superheroes fighting each other, you could have made this so simple. And I thought they had a great concept in there, but they didn't capitalize it on it. They didn't capitalize on it the best way. Like Batman being mad because Superman just is destroying cities and stuff. He thinks Superman is dangerous. That's cool. But then they started adding Lex Luthor to it, and then they had it Doomsday in it, and Wonder Woman was involved, and then the Justice League gets introduced in the movie. It's like you could have just made this a simple Batman wants to take out Superman movie, and that would have worked. It would have been so good. That's it. That's all we wanted to see. But they overdid it and they ruined the movie. But that's Batman versus Superman. You got the Suicide Squad. Well, not the Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad is a, I think it's better than Batman versus Superman and Man of Steel, but the movie's still bad. It's bad. I think Jared Leto's Joker had potential, but y'all know it wasn't good. He barely is there. And I'll say that. Maybe that's a video I need to make. Jared Leto's Joker, I think he only is bad because he doesn't get enough time. I will say that. I think he's only trash because he doesn't get enough time. And the scenes we've seen of him, it's kind of just like, oh, okay. Because I remember when those Joker scenes came up, everybody was quiet. Everybody was quiet, and it was like, whoa, this is Joker. But he just didn't get enough time to cook. So that's how I kind of feel about the Jared Leto Joker. But Harley Quinn was good. Deadshot was cool. All the other characters were terrible. But Deadshot and Harley Quinn were good. And that's how I feel about Suicide Squad. You got Wonder Woman, cool solo movie and really inspiring. Like Wonder Woman is cool and she's powerful and stuff. She's a aspiring female character and I like Wonder Woman. She's cool. And I think people do overrate the movie a little bit. Like the villain is boring. He just doesn't. He just want to take over everything. That's his thing, and he's a big CGI thing, and that's Wonder Woman. But Wonder Woman, I like the setting of the world. I think it's the 1800s or something. It's cool. I like Wonder Woman. Justice League terrible. The villain's boring. Superman he dies in one movie and then comes back like the very next movie. Everybody's silly now for no reason. It just came out of nowhere. It's like, okay, so everybody's silly now? That was a whole thing. All the Justice League members don't really get that much time. Only thing Aquaman does is my man, and Cyborg doesn't do anything, and Flash makes really bad jokes about brunch and having friends and stuff. It doesn't work. So yes, I wasn't a fan of Justice League. And with a lot of these movies, I think the thing I'm not mentioning is a lot of these flopped. They didn't make much money. They might have broken even, but majority of them just barely made more than what they used to the budget, or they didn't make much at all, or they broke it even. It was even, and that's it. But yeah, let's continue. Then you got Wonder Woman 2 is terrible. The effects are bad. They overcomplicated the Steve storyline. They could have made him come back just with the magic thing, but he had to take over somebody's body. Stupid. The Cheetah storyline, they did the nerd storyline where the nerd becomes strong, like Iron Man 3 and Incredibles and Amazing Spider-Man 2. They did that storyline and it just isn't good. Yeah, Wonder Woman 2 was not it. The Suicide Squad, banger movie. Shazam, I don't like that movie. I think the same reason the scene where Thor gives kids superpowers and stuff, it kind of reminds me of the whole Shazam movie. I don't care about this movie. It's a family movie, and it feel like, oh, family, kids, power, all of that. I didn't like the movie. I'm sorry. That's how I feel about Shazam. But Shazam was a success. It did good, and yeah, people liked it. So Shazam was at least good, but Shazam 2 flopped. Nobody went to go see that. The villain was not interesting at all. Black Adam should have been in that movie, but let's get to Black Adam. Black Adam was bad. It was okay, I'll say this. I like Black Adam. People don't like Black Adam. And I understand why people don't like Black Adam. But me personally, going to the movie, seeing that movie, I liked it. I thought it was cool. Black Adam was cool in the movie. And the fights were amazing. I don't care what nobody says. Those fights, they was throwing hands. They was throwing hands in those fights. The CGI was good in the movie. And yes, I had fun. I thought Black Adam was a great movie. A great movie. Black Adam was my movie, but a lot of people didn't like it. It didn't do good in the box office. It might have broken even, and that was it. But yeah, and I understand The Rock did mess up. He should have fought Shazam. That's what I was thinking Shazam 2 was going to be about, Black Adam versus Shazam, but didn't happen. We ended up getting Shazam had to fight a nobody, and Black Adam became the Superman. He tried to become Superman of the DC universe, and nobody knows who Black Adam is, so it did not work. So yes, Black Adam was a flop. Flash, this one hurt me because I love CW Flash. I love CW Flash. Grant Gustin, that's my boy, but Ezra Miller, especially all that controversy before the movie came out, yeah, the movie didn't do good. It flopped. The CGI was terrible. The I don't even know, man. The ending was terrible. I hated the battlefield they was on. It was one good scene I liked. I only like the scene where Barry screams at the other Barry. That's the only scene I actually cared about. It was cool seeing the other Batmans. I thought both of the Batmans were good in the movie, but yeah, they like killed them off. So that was kind of whack too. Wonder Woman was in there again. These Wonder Woman cameos they had at the end of the DC universe was terrible. And yeah, the ending with George Clooney, all of that, it was like, oh, okay, this movie needs to go. It's terrible, and yeah, we gotta move on. Aquaman 2, Aquaman 1, 2. Aquaman 1 is boring. He goes to like 20 different locations, and yeah, that's Aquaman 1. Aquaman 2, he goes to a few locations. He goes to less locations than the first movie, so that was good. I did like the chemistry between him and his brother. I thought all of that was cool. And I'll say this movie was fun. I thought Aquaman 2 was fun, and it ain't the worst way to go out. Well, okay, it is the worst way to go out, but I think somebody could top Aquaman 2 as the worst final movie for a franchise. Maybe X-Men did it. X-Men did go out pretty bad. So, yeah, that's my opinion on the movies. I think I've got every single movie I wanted to talk about. And yeah, they had so many flops. And then the box office for a lot of these movies was not good. Blue Beetle didn't do good either. I thought Blue Beetle was so plain and easy. They did not try at all. Nothing was different about Blue Beetle than a lot of these superhero origin movies. But Zolo was good. He was good. The lead was good. Blue Beetle himself was good. Keep him as Blue Beetle. He is so good. But the movie, they just really played it easy. I thought Blue Beetle was kind of normal. And they didn't show Batwoman. They wrote that off. That was gone. And we did not get anything else. I think that's it. They fired Henry Cavill, and yeah, man, it just was bad. So let's get to the James Gunn section of this video because I need to talk about James Gunn. James Gunn. So Marvel, they had James Gunn at a point as a director, and he made the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. But then Marvel fired James Gunn, and DC took James Gunn and asked him to make the Suicide Squad. And that movie was amazing. The movie was amazing, and Guardians of the Galaxy was amazing. So DC made a decision to make James Gunn kind of the overseer of the DC movies. He's kind of like the I forgot his name. He's kind of like the Kevin Feige of the DC universe. He's like the Kevin Feige of the DC universe. And I was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. So he's gonna scrap everything, and we're gonna first I was like, oh, so are we gonna get something with Superman and stuff, or is he gonna like fix up the DC movies we got right now? But then we heard that he's gonna reboot everything. Everything's gonna get rebooted. I was like, okay, so are we really doing this? So we ended up they hired Henry Cavill back because Black Adam, it was teased at the end of Black Adam that Henry Cavill Superman was coming back. But then James Gunn comes in and says, or DC comes in and says, nope, he's gone. Henry Cavill's gone, and we are not getting that Superman movie. We're done with him. And fans were mad. It was like, yo, you just brought him back, then fired him 2 weeks later. It was like, what was the point of that? That was very unnecessary, and it made a lot of fans sad. People was like, oh, Superman's about to come back. We get a second Superman movie. We finally gonna get to see peak Superman, because I feel like at the time a lot of people were wishing for that Superman movie, to give Superman that movie that's gonna make him a legend. But James Gunn scrapped it, and people were sad about that. So people are already like, no, James Gunn, what are you doing? That was the first thing. And then all these announcements and stuff about all these movies and stuff. And I think the thing I sort of do get a little bit mad about is like, so you're canceling all the DC stuff. That's not yours. But when it comes to Peacemaker and your characters from Peacemaker and stuff and all of that, it's like, you're going to keep them around. Like, if we're going to do a reboot, we need to do a full reboot. Everything needs to go. Everything needs to go, including Peacemaker. I like John Cena, but Peacemaker would have to go too. All of that has to go. But Peacemaker staying around. They said they're going to reboot it, but they're not going to reboot it. Like, it's going to stay the same characters and everything, but they're going to reboot it in a different world or whatever. And it's like, that's confusing. You're confusing people. And some of these characters, like Blue Beetle, they said Blue Beetle staying around. It's like, that's confusing, because I'm going to just think it's a part of the old DC universe. So, yes, James Gunn has to start doing better with that. Stop confusing us. It is confusing. It's like they're talking about bringing back Aquaman, and then talking about bringing back Wonder Woman, but then James Gunn has to come out and say, nope, we're not bringing them back. And then we're going to recast them as some other character. It is so confusing. And I'm like, y'all have to figure out what y'all going to do with the DC universe. Go think about what you are going to do. It's just all over the place. And I'm like, okay, they don't know what they're doing. But let's go to the next thing. Superman Legacy. Superman Legacy or Superman, whatever they're calling it right now. But this new Superman movie, I'm rooting for it. I am rooting for it. I hope it does good. I just want to see Superman succeed because the concept of Superman, it seems like, why wouldn't you like this guy? He saves people and he's a good guy. He seems like a good person. He's kind of like Captain America. And it's like, I want to see this movie succeed. I want to see that version of Superman. It's like you have to love him because he's such a good person and he's so relatable. But man, Superman, right? His track record in live action has not been great. He's boring. Everything I've seen him in while I've been alive, he has been boring. And the Henry Cavill era Superman was a flop. It was a failure because nobody could relate to Superman. He was boring. I was like, oh, okay, Superman's here. This super powered creature, man, he's here and he's gonna save everybody and stuff. I just was never interested in Superman. So I hope they find a way to make us like Superman. It doesn't have to be, he doesn't have to be exactly what the fans wanted him to be, but just figure out something to make us like Superman. Do something. Please do something. And yeah, if Superman flops this time, it's over. Superman is gone. He's just a character that is not good, and just keep him in the cartoons, man. Don't ever bring him back in live action. People just like Batman better. I always thought Superman could be the face of DC, but no, it might just be Batman. Batman's more relatable. His backstory is tragic, and every time a Batman movie comes out, it is amazing because I think even the directors get Batman. Everybody gets Batman. He's a cool character. I always see Batman all the time. Everybody wants to play as Batman. He is probably my favorite superhero. I think he is my favorite superhero. He's just too cool. Superman, though, it's just they haven't figured out what makes Superman Superman and what the people like about Superman. So that's my opinion about Superman Legacy. But let's get to the Batman. Okay, the Batman. Yo, the Batman was like the best thing DC produced in such a long time. It's up there as like my top 5 favorite superhero movies. It's such a great detective, scary movie. It's such a great movie. They finally got Gotham right. Gotham in this movie is perfect. That is Gotham straight from the Arkham games. That is Gotham straight from that world and from some of those cartoons and some from the comics. That Gotham feels dark, cold, and scary and disgusting. Like the darkest criminals work in Gotham. It's so perfect in that movie. Batman is so cool in that movie. Now, Bruce Wayne needs to be worked on, but hey man, Batman is such a cool character in that movie. Riddler was amazing. Catwoman was amazing. The cast was just on point, but the best DC movie in a while. You're pushing it back to 2026? Why would you push the next thing you made to 2026? Look, I get it, they gotta work on it, but yo, you gotta just go straight into it. Start working on that. Don't work on this other nonsense. Stop trying to make another Batman movie. Because, yes, they're about to make another Batman franchise called Batman Brave and the Bold. And they're going to get a whole new cast of characters. It has nothing to do with Robert Pattinson's Batman. But, yo, just focus on Robert Pattinson's Batman. Spider-Man No Way Home, for example. They filmed that in like a year. They was like, okay, after COVID, we gonna go straight into filming and let's get this done and we will release it by the end of the year. They rushed and they still tried to get it out there. Please. We at the beginning of 2024. Just release it in 2025. Please. We all want to see that movie. I ain't gonna care about 2026. That's too far away. And I think they said October 2026. So almost 2027, we will see The Batman 2. That ain't right, man. That is too long. That just sucks, man. But let's continue to the Joker 2. Joker 2. If this movie is a musical for real, they just killed off one of the best movies that they made in a while. Why would you turn a movie that was fine as a non-musical, crazy movie about Joker, and why would you switch it to a musical? Why? You had it perfect. Why would you change it up? Why would you do that? But hey man, if it's a musical, nobody's about to go see that. I'm debating even going to see it. It's like, what's the point, man? I'm starting to really come to think that the first Joker ain't even that good. He ain't even the Joker. The Joker, man, he's just a weird, crazy dude. He don't really even act like the Joker in the first movie. But yes, if this is a musical, it's gonna flop and nobody's gonna go see it. But DC, man, work on yourselves, man. Y'all got a lot of problems. James Gunn, start being more I don't even know what you would say. Just be more clear about what you're talking about. And yes, DC, work on yourselves, man. Just take a 10-year break, please. But peace out, y'all. Anime Boom out. Peace.